Well, he's been entertaining us for over 3 decades with some of the most memorable moments in his interviews with athletes. We're talking about Mr. Roy Firestone, and we're so happy he could join us on the phone right now. And Roy, I want to just take you back to the beginning. When did you first know that you had a talent for interviewing people?
I've always been curious. I was bat boy with the Baltimore Orioles when I was 15 years old, and I used to always integrate with the athletes, even from that age. And I used to actually perform. I was a bit of an entertainer even as a kid, and I integrated with those players. And I knew right about that point I wanted to be around them. I wanted to hear what they had to say about everything from the game to what's going on in their lives to what they think about anything. And so I guess from the time I was 15, in a sense, I knew I wanted to do it. Now, whether I knew I was going to be a talented guy at what I did, that's for other people to decide. But I've been doing it an awful long time. My first interview of all time ever, for day one, was Muhammad Ali, and that was it was less verbal, jostling, and a little bit more of being lectured. But it was terrific to do it, and from that point on, from about 1975 on, I've been doing it ever since.
Roy, over 5,000 people have sat across from you and answered questions. Is there anyone still out there that you want to interview?
Actually, I'd like to interview President Obama. He would be one off the top of my head. I guess I want to interview Nelson Mandela, would be somebody I would have a great regard for at 92 as we speak. I would love to talk to him at some point about his life.
Roy, we've learned so much about athletes and entertainers and people in the news because of the interviews that you did with them. Is there a sense, though, that we can know too much about some of the, especially athletes, that we hold in such high regard?
Well, first of all, thank you for that. I hope that even is partially true, that I've been able to create a kind of a knowledge and awareness through my interviews. But can you know too much? I think, especially in this age and time, I don't like to, I would never interview somebody walking out of a parking lot with his child in his arms and ambush them. I never did an ambush interview in my life. I always asked if there was any grounds or any areas that they did not want to get into, and I respected those boundaries. There are no boundaries anymore, really. I mean, with the TMZification, if you want to use that word, in that respect, you can know too much, especially when a person's rights and a person's liberties are exposed without their knowledge.
Roy, ultimately, when you think back on your career, what do you hope you're remembered for the most?
Well, first of all, I hope it's not postseason. I mean, I hope this is a continuing career. If there is something that I want to be remembered for the work I've done thus far, it's that I was fair, that I gave insights through my interviews, that I had them tell the story that I couldn't tell on my own through their words, that there was humor, that there was poignance, perhaps, that there was moving moments. People always talk about me getting them to cry. Frankly, only 25 of the 5,000 interviews we did were there tears shed. Most of it was laughter and insight, and I'm very pleased by that. So in the whole scope of things, I would hope that in the years I've done this and continue to hope to do this, that I just do good work, because it is a kind of broadcast. I hate to use the word theater, but it's true. There is a kind of theatric that comes in between the guest and the host. If it's good, and if it carries with it a memorable moment, that's what you remember. People remember those moments, and I'm glad that they do remember.
Well, as the audience, we've certainly enjoyed it. Roy Firestone, good luck to you, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.